And I chose this niche because I believe that for you to transform the safety of the workplace, you have to start from the board to the top management, okay, to the senior managers. You have to change their mindset first. People fail in health and safety because they have not opened the eyes of the leaders to realize how much they are losing by not investing in safety. I got inspired to start doing health and safety leadership excellence for top level management and the members of the board, because that is where you should start from.
I'm Vivian Boaz, and this is the EHS Unplugged podcast, the show where we share tips on home and workplace safety, environmental sustainability, and health and wellness tips. Join us as we explore these topics with industry experts and learn to create a safer and healthier world.
Hi guys, my name is Vivian Boaz, and welcome back to another episode of the EHS Unplugged podcast. Now, guys, I'm very excited for today's guest. Too excited, in fact. But I'm going to let him introduce himself. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad to be on EHS Unplugged podcast platform. I've been looking forward to this, and I'm glad I'm here. So my name is David Ongesa. I'm health and safety professional, advisor, trainer, mentor, and I do a lot of things revolving around health and safety. Yeah.
Now, I think he did a very brief introduction because Ongesa is everything. If you hear the name David Ongesa in the corridors of health and safety, he is everything. But I want to build a story. I want us to know, because at this point, he's one of the leading people when it comes to health and safety. But I really want us to understand his journey, where he comes from or where he came from and how he got to this point, so that he can inspire those guys who are in university or in those entry-level jobs, or if you're a seasoned professional and you don't know how to transition to that management position. So, David, I want to start on a very light note.
Okay.
And I ask guys this all the time. Safety, the word safety. How do you say that in Kiswahili?
Safety ni usalama mahala pa kazi. If it is road safety, ni usalama barabarani. So it will depends with the scope within which you are defining safety.
I think you did well, guys. But now, because Ongesa is also an environmentalist, I'm going to ask him what the word environment means in Kiswahili.
Mazingira? Anybody doesn't know what environment means?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are. So Ongesa, let's just dive in. Take us back to where you grew up. Because I want to know if in any way that shaped you to the Ongesa that we're seeing now.
Well, David Ongesa is an ordinary Kenyan, born and bred from Homa Bay County. That's why I learned. I took my primary education in Homa Bay, also my secondary education in Homa Bay. Thereafter, I was admitted to Maseno University, still within the western part of the country, in Nyanza to be specific. Was admitted to actually pursue a course in art science. It was a new course in that university, and nobody knew what art science is all about. See, most of my friends, colleagues, and associates, most of them were admitted to go and do education as a course. And I also applied to pursue education at the university. But when the admission letter came, I was admitted to pursue art science. But coincidentally, that was the time that there was a lot of explorations being done on oil and gas in Kenya, and there were very less professionals in that area. So very few people were well conversant with what art science means. So I think a number of us who were invited to that course applied to other courses. There was what we call inter-faculty and inter-course transfer. So for myself, I applied to be transferred to education. But the process was taking too long, so I decided to go and do another application so that if the one for education did not succeed, then I could get another course, but not art science. So that is where I landed in environmental science. And I think in that course we left less than 10 candidates. They are all doing so well today because they graduated at the peak of oil and gas activities in Kenya. So most of them were absorbed in the oil and gas sector, and some of them got scholarships and went abroad. So that's my undergraduate background. I then, of course, did a bit of, when I graduated, I went to education because that's something that I'd been doing before. Went to Tanzania, a place called Tabora. Yes, I went to some Catholic school there where I taught for almost 1 year. And because there was some project in Homa Bay, one of my lecturers initiated my coming back to Kenya to come and assist him manage the project, the UN Habitat Solid Waste Management Project in Homa Bay, which ran for about 1 month. Then I joined his farm in Nairobi for internship, a farm called WSPAK. So that is where I started off. But again, in WSPAK, I worked for 1 year. Then I went back to education. I taught in a number of schools in Nairobi, including some international schools, but I reached cul-de-sac. I could not progress further because I didn't have papers for education, as a course. So that is what prompted me to go back to a bit of environmental management and health and safety. So that is how I started off my career. When you were growing up, even when you were schooling, health and safety was quite foreign. We didn't know, personally, I didn't know I would land in the field of health and safety. It just came later on after graduating. We are applying for jobs here and there. And the few jobs that were there for environmental management or within NEMA, they could not absorb all the graduates in their thousands. So people started asking themselves, what else can we do? Where else can we go? That is where we explored and found that a closer house where we could fit is health and safety. So each and every person would package himself or herself to fit in. Yes.
Wait, so let me just take you back. So that's how you ended up in safety?
Sure, when I was schooling, I was seeing myself joining some, good projects and departments within NEMA, or maybe joining UNEP like all of us. But when you finish school and you come to reality now, reality hits you. Now you have to find something else where you can do and where you can fit. So that is how I ended up in health and safety. Yes, I think in our class I was amongst the first people to fit into health and safety, and then quite a number of us then later on joined. Yeah. So after undergraduate, I also did my master's in environmental science at Kenyatta University, and it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've said something very interesting. You're one of the, we say, pioneers.
That is now in my class,
Yeah.
the cohort where we graduated.
Mhm.
You see, people were highly optimistic. After graduating, you would go join NEMA, we would go join the UNEP, we would go join whichever body. But now, when they graduated, now reality hits them. The NEMA is not there, UNEP is not there. Where do we go? You have to find what to do, and you have to find out to package yourself to fit into a relevant field. And because you see, health and safety is closely related to environment, because there's environmental aspect. We just need to ask yourself, what do I need to do for the health and safety aspect to fit into this other sector and build myself and grow?
So you've mentioned something about packaging, and I feel like the current crop of WSH professionals, that's an area where they're a bit lacking. So as a professional or as a leader in the industry, what should you advise them to do really?
As a professional, you must continuously upgrade yourself and also do a lot of professional courses. You have to network. You have to take action that would make you fit into the professions. For instance, what helped me a lot is sacrificing part of my financial resources to undertake several professional certification courses. You're aware about WSPAK certifications. I've done 6 of them. I've never heard of anybody who has done 6 of them. I've had people doing 3 or 4. I've done 6 of them. And the moment I'm done with one, I feel like doing another one, because once I'm done with these professional certification courses, I find some unique in-depth knowledge and some interesting perspectives that are very relevant to my career. So health and safety professional, first of all, you should be apt to carry knowledge and be eager and enthusiastic to upgrade and develop yourself. Take WSPAK courses, we have IOSH courses, we have other relevant courses that would really make you to be up to date with knowledge. We also expand your level of critical thinking, because safety is all about applying critical thinking to various situations, because you have to provide solution to diverse complex issues affecting the workplace and also affecting the workers. You can remember when COVID-19 came, some of our workers started working at home. And work at home also came up with its own challenges. Most of the workers could not get proper workstations. That would also bring forth other issues, economic issues. Some of the workers would find themselves isolated. They could no longer now work as a team with their colleagues in the office. So it also brought the aspect of lone working. And because when you're at work, we share a lot with our colleagues, our challenges, some beyond the working scope. When now workers were isolated at home, you'll find the issues of mental health cropping up. That's why there's been a lot of conversation about mental health. So as these issues comes in, if you remain static in knowledge and approaches to solving these workplace issues, then you cannot make progress. So health and safety professionals should be lovers of books. They should keep on reading, upgrading themselves, keeping up with the new legislations, finding out best practices in other countries, in other regions, in other industries, finding time to go to ILO websites, aspects to do with workplace safety, what is new, attending conferences like what WSPAK is organizing in October. These avenues, you'd find that you'd make you an updated and an all-round professional, highly networked, can get solution from anywhere, and that places you at a good place of sorting most of the complex issue that you'll come across. Yeah.
I like that. So the message here, guys, stay on your toes, read those books. Now, I want to take you back. In your introduction, you talked about internships. Now, majority of us have gone through internships and then an entry-level job and then, something bigger. And the argument has been internships have to be paid. People no longer look at the experience that you gain from the whole internship and the people that you get to meet along the way. Because sometimes those are the people who link you to jobs. You went through NEMA. Just tell us, how did that shape the Ongesa that we are seeing today?
Well, internship is quite important because you cannot transition directly from the campus to job. So the best way is to get mentored so that you can fit into the industries. You learn how now the real tasks are being done, not the theory that we learn in school. Yeah, I took attachments. I also took internships. I think my first attachment I took at NEMA. Then after that, I took my second attachment at Municipal Council of Kisumu. We have a public park there, Jomo Kenyatta grounds. We are working on a very good project there on how we can run a sustainable public park that is all round in terms of putting arrangement for the aesthetics and the ambience, and also engaging people to make the park to be self-generating and sustainable. So the graduates who are getting out of campus should be very patient when they come outside here. If you can get an avenue where you can learn and get to connect the theory that you learned in school to the practical outside here in the field, then you'll be in a good place. If you're patient enough, then you can be sure once you shape up yourself, then those opportunities will come for you. Those good jobs will come for you. If you are in a hurry, sometimes you want to fit into a seat that is bigger than you. The people who have gotten jobs and they don't have an idea, how do I even start? Sometimes I come across such people when they reach out to me. Yeah. Most of the time, actually, those who are new to the industries. There's this job that I've gotten, still wondering how I'm going to go about starting it off. I don't know what to do. I don't know what it entails. Now, those are the skills that you'll gain when you take an internship somewhere. You should really not be driven by the money you are going to be paid, but rather the knowledge you're going to gain. When I took my internship, I was not being paid any salary. We could be given stipends because my mentor was very good. I'm sure you heard of Professor Jacob Kibwagi. It was very good. So we could have projects. We go to do audits in Kisumu, in Mombasa, all over the country. And during such audits, you'll be given some field allowance. So those are the monies that we use to survive, really no salary. So if you are really keen on learning, you really focus much more on learning rather than the payment and the salary. Until now, you feel now, I think now I'm ready, I can stand on my feet. Then if your organization that is offering you internship is willing to absorb you, now you can move to the next step. Or if you get another opportunity somewhere, now you can feel confident because you've done this for the past 6 months or 3 months or so. And you can work on your own comfortably without any challenge. So at that point, it would be very, very important to join a professional society association like the WSPAK we have, because that is where you will find all the professionals under one roof. And you know what we normally do. If someone has a challenge, a problem, people are always there to help, to bring solutions on board. Again, opportunities are shared there. If you need a mentor to mentor you on something else, they're also there. So once we are done with the internship, we are ready to fit into the job industry now and stand on our feet. We must not ignore joining a professional society. That is what will shape you more, sharpen you, because you have colleagues working in the same industry there. We have veterans who are more experienced and have worked even for more than 30 years there. You have some of your lecturers there. You have some of your supervisors there. So any knowledge, any challenge you have, the solution will be right inside there. Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's also my next question would be, and this is for me and maybe for the audience out there, how do I tell, like, now it's time for me to move? I've been employed in a workplace for, say, 5 years. How do I know it's time to leave? And how do I make that decision to leave? Because I know for you, take you for example, you were an intern somewhere, you got that first job, and then you got the second job, and then you got the third job up to where you are now. How did you know it was time to move into something more challenging?
Well, for me, I find it interesting trying new things. And whenever I join a new workplace, my happiness is putting place in order until everything is running smoothly. Building a team, empowering them, mentoring them. Until now, we are like colleagues. Whatever I can do, they can do. Once it reaches that level, I feel like I've outgrown myself. I need to move to the next challenge, because I believe it's all about bringing solution. If I join the workplace and whatever problems they had is already sorted, and those whom I've built and mentored can carry on comfortably, then I feel I already outgrown my challenge there. Then I can take up a new challenge where I can venture into new things that I've never explored. So it's standard practice. It's always good to take at least 3 years in a workplace. If in 3 years this workplace is still experiencing the problems that they're experiencing before you joined, then you know there's a problem. Things are not working for you. You could also ask yourself, if in 3 years I've not done all this, what more will I be able to do in the next? But the problem could not be you at sometimes. You could be good, but the workplace is not working for you. You know, health and safety is all about leadership commitment. You could be very good with very good ideas, you're very energetic, you're very knowledgeable, but now the support is lacking. The support could be lacking because of your wrong approach. Health and safety is a very delicate career. It's a supporting department that works with all other departments within the team and all the cadres of the employees. So how you relate with the employees can influence how you perform, especially at the beginning, because you are judged based on how you start off your work at that new organization. So if things are working well and you have put everything in the working place, everything is running smoothly, and at that level you will know that you have outgrown yourself. Okay? We have organizations that provide vertical career progression. But you could also have a small organization. There is only position of health and safety manager. You are the manager. You have worked there for 5 years. The only other valuable position is the CEO. You know very well you can't be the CEO, eh? So, you know very well you can't be the CEO. You are stuck there. And because you started maybe at your young formative stages, so that means you'll be grounded there for some good time. So in such an organization, I think once you have given your fair bit of contribution for some time, let's say at least 3 years, and you feel now that there's no more challenge here, I've streamlined everything, is running smoothly to an extent that you get to the office and your work is just maybe the reports, no any other challenge, because you have worked with all the, safety is a departmental driven function. So when you are there as health and safety advisor, you're not the person to drive the safety function. You have to empower heads of department and the HODs, line managers, they are safety managers at their own capacity. So if you build this culture, you find that it's now stable and running. And again, there is no more further challenge. There is no opportunity for vertical career progression. You cannot maybe move to a corporate head or to at board level. Then I guess at that level you're going to try out other things that are more challenging. Yeah.
I think that raises a very interesting question. So you're saying for health and safety professionals, like for me personally, I want to be a CEO.
Sure.
Right now I'm at the management level. So what else is there for health and safety professionals? Does it mean when we get to the management position and then that's it?
Well, that's not it. We are health and safety professionals. I want to use a classic example of my former MD. Yes, while I was working at Oilfield Movers Limited, he was a health and safety professional for a long time in the oil and gas sector. He worked within the country and outside the country. It reached a level that he challenged himself that he needed to do more than what he was doing, and went there, started off his company, became the MD, and the company was very successful. He really grew as the MD of that company, one of the best company that was well managed, and it was a very good MD. So health and safety professionals should also not fix their mindset that they have to retire as health and safety professionals. You can start your own company or initiative like EHS Unplugged. Yes, it can go international. Then if you are visionary enough and you know what you're looking for, you can partner with like-minded partners. You can bring them on board and help give solutions to other problems in other sectors. Actually, like the kind of work that you're doing, you are voicing the silent cries in the health and safety sector. You are bringing them to light. Issues that if there was no platform like EHS Unplugged podcast, people would not be aware about. Watched a number of episodes concentrating on the construction sector. Okay, these issues, that if they're not brought out, people would not know that they are happening. Remember, health and safety is not confined just in the formal employment. We have a lot of work to do in the informal sector, which nobody cares about. The current world, where social media is a big tool, most of the people will wake up if these issues are raised. So these civic initiatives are quite very important, and through that, interventions can come through, and solutions in this, sector that have been ignored for a long time can be, balanced. Their fair share in terms of safety can be addressed. So, as safety professionals, let's not dream to die or to retire as EHS professionals. We can build ourselves strategically to be CEOs, the MDs, the plant managers. Okay? I've known people in our industry who have also grown vertically to be directors. These are in big corporates, because in big corporates, safety docket is also represented at the board level. But you can only get there if you work for it. Most of the people who have gotten there have gone ahead to do MBA so that they can have skills and knowledge of strategic management, because you need that skill and knowledge when it comes to board level appointments. We have people who have grown, they have strategically positioned themselves because they have taken even courses in like finance for non-finance professionals. So that when you're at a position of management above health and safety management, you are all round in terms of skills. You need financial literacy and skills to manage. You need business management skills, because you'll now not just be narrowing down to safety alone, you'll be looking at the entire business. So it is possible. It's possible. Let's do MBAs, let's do other strategic management courses, and that would make us not to be stuck where we are as professionals.
And I'm really glad you came on board, because what you're sharing right now, I don't think the young professionals really have this information. All we're thinking about is, when is my next salary coming in? That's what we're thinking about, honestly. But I want to ask you something. Are you on social media?
Sure. I'm actively present in LinkedIn. That is where I'm vibrantly present in.
Okay.
Yes, so if you go to LinkedIn and look for Ambassador David Ongesa, we'll connect.
Yeah,
yes.
So obviously, let me ask you this. Was there at any point in your career where you felt you were underpaid as a professional?
Very interesting question. But let me just tell you something. I think I've worked in a couple of organizations and companies. What I've done in my career progression is that I spent resources to heavily invest in myself. Okay. While I join an organization, of course, there is contractual agreement which I commit and sign. So once I sign, I will serve you diligently. But as I do that, what I've done in the past, I've taken time to take professional courses, network, try to learn more about the industry, position myself relevantly. And once I feel that I've outgrown the salary that I was employed for, of course, there is annual appraisals which are there. If it's not forthcoming, I think I've always transitioned to other organizations with better pay. So for me, it's been fairly good, because And I've had to even live, very many of us, by the way. Yeah. One thing that I've always been committed to is, at least I spent 3 years in an organization, even if I feel the pay is less than what I deserve. Because at times it's really not about the money, but it's a project you started. Let's say you've joined a new workplace, you started shaping up things have started improving. You also want to see where this reaches at the expiry of the 3 years. Yeah, so at some instances, I've gotten some job offers and I've had to turn them down because of that. But I feel that after 3 years, I've given my best, and there's a better opportunity for growth, first for growth. Sometimes you can go for money, but you can find the working environment does not work for you. Yes, because as safety professionals, we are like evangelizers, we are like pastors, we are winning souls. Okay? You join a church, a big church, as a pastor, and the congregants are not listening to your preachings, you feel it is odd for you.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But generally in the industry, the pay is really wanting. So I'm just wondering what you can do to change that. How can you make Kenya take OSH more serious so that we get the pay that we actually deserve, given the kind of work that we do?
Well, it's good now we have a professional society, WSPAK, which might seem like a small platform, but if taken seriously, it's a very, very big platform. If initiatives like partnering with the IHRM for the HR professionals, Kenya Federation of Employers, in the other organizations, there can be a benchmark and salary scales for health and safety professionals, at least can be set. For instance, you all know that for the starting, a fair salary of 50,000 for health and safety, maybe officer who is just starting off career, is fair. But once they work for 3 years, then they deserve something better, commensurate with the kind of task that they're doing in the organization. So that can only be influenced if there is strong advocacy, and also bringing out the value that we add to workplaces. You know, most people still really don't know what health and safety people are doing in their workplaces.
I am asked all the time, what do you do exactly?
Yes. Some people think just your work is to move around, walk around all the time. Some people would think around. There are actually some employers that you're busy in the office working on reports, but they think that when you are seated in the office there the whole day, or better part of the day, then you're doing nothing, absolutely doing nothing. Remember, EHS is driven by data. And this data, you can only package it by getting reports, putting them together. That is what will inform your data-based decision-making and priorities. Okay? There could be an incident, you have to take time to do quality investigation and report writing, and somebody's wondering,
what are you doing?
What are you doing the whole day? The whole afternoon you're seated in the office. You're doing something that is very useful, that is going to inform where most emphasis should be placed for the improvement of safety in the workplace. Yeah.
Now, guys, Ongesa used to be our president. That's WSPAK, the one you just mentioned. He used to be the president. So, Ongesa, just tell us about that, because now people don't know, but it's actually a political role, in my opinion. So, just tell us a bit about that. What drove you to that position, or to make the decision to actually vie for the presidency?
What inspired me to vie
Yes, tell us
as
about the inspiration.
WSPAK president?
Mm.
Well, it's a long journey. There are a few professionals. I think the conversation started all the way from LinkedIn. How can we find a platform where we can share resources, address our issues, come together as professionals, join hands and be strong? So it started, and we had a series of meetings, and then it came to a time when we had the Pioneer Office. They did a good job, and somehow I felt like it was not really coming to speed the way I had anticipated. Remember, in the region, WSPAK was the pioneer safety society in the region, in East African region. So I wanted to volunteer so that at least WSPAK can be known within Africa and outside Africa. It can come to limelight so that once it's known by everybody, we can have more members join, and we can have a strong platform, platform to advocate our issues. So that is what really motivated me, and I vied. Coincidentally, I don't know why nobody was interested in vying for that position. So I found myself the only applicant in that position. Yeah, we had strong people, much more experienced people who could fit into that role. So when I was presenting myself as a candidature, I was ready to compete with them in the race to see where I could get. If I was lucky, maybe I could be given an opportunity to serve. And nobody was going for that very position. Even these very strong people were not going for this very position.
Maybe they saw it and they say, this guy, this is it.
But I think I was God chosen. Eh? You know, when it is your time.
It is.
Yeah. And because of my name, I'm David. Eh?
Oh, yeah.
From the Bible, who David is. Eh? Yeah. So I was privileged to serve as the president, and I'm glad within the 2 years tenure, WSPAK was not only known in East Africa, but also in the African continent and also globally. And it had grown to a vibrant safety society organization which won the AfriSafe Award of 2023. And we hope it wins more awards. Through that vibrancy, we inspired Tanzania to start the association. They looked at what we were doing in Kenya and said, guys, we are being left behind. Okay? Through that vibrancy, it inspired Uganda to start the association. Okay? All that started during my tenure, and with the support from all the members. So I'm really proud of WSPAK, where it has come from the Pioneer Office to where it is. I know it is going far. Yes.
But I know it's a very challenging role. So
Quite challenging.
How are you able to balance? I want to know. Give me tips. How are you able to balance?
Well, leadership is not easy. And in leadership, you have to be accommodative enough. There will be a lot of pressure. People think that you are not really doing things to the expectation or at the speed of the expectation. Remember, this is a purely voluntary role. Eh? You volunteer yourself to serve the people. just like Jesus. Okay?
Yes.
So, first you have to be ready psychologically. That I'm going for this. Let me volunteer myself for 2 years. At the expiry of 2 years, this is what I want to have achieved. Even if I don't achieve everything, it's 1, 2, 3, I shall have achieved by the end of the 2 years. Okay? Then you must be ready for criticism. Now, most of the time when you see people saying, Vivian is good, Vivian is good, think twice. But you see people criticizing you a lot, then it means somehow something is going good somewhere. Okay? So be ready for criticism and be ready to take them positively. Okay? You will not be loved or liked by everybody. But so long as you satisfy majority of the masses in the cause, you are good to go. Keep the focus. Let criticism not demotivate you. Okay? Keep your eye on the focus. Could listen to what people say, but keep the vision. Keep the fire burning. Okay? And what else?
Because I think unwinding is very important because the role is emotionally draining sometimes.
Sure.
How did you handle that personally?
It was tough because most of the time, especially when you're preparing for events like conferences, you have meetings every single night. Okay? We used to have meetings every single night. Even in the leadership, you will not be having a one united vision because people have got a diverse way of thinking. So what helped me a lot is I think I allowed all the members of the executive to run the association. They were in the forefront, I was in the back. I know I'm the leader, but because I believe each and every person has got a special talent and a way of thinking. So somebody could bring an idea. Okay? Most of the time ideas came from the members of the executive. Then I would have people discuss, what do you think about this? Okay? If majority are in the support, we would take the risk to try out most of the time. So that made that executive a bit vibrant and a bit participatory. Everyone felt the other voice in running the association. Remember, I led the association at a time when half of the association were out of the country. We had our Secretary General who had moved to Ethiopia, then to the US. We had my vice who had moved to Somalia to a UN job. We had again other members who are frequently in and out of the country. So most of the time you'll find that because of the time zone differences, it really took a lot of sacrifice to pull even the events to go through. But even when they were outside the country, we could still ask them to participate, send them assignment and task, get us the reports, and then we could pull and move ahead as a team. So I think that is the approach that made it work. And sometimes when tensions are so high, just take a break and cool down. Yeah, it will not be smooth all the time. Yes.
So
there's some instances, for instance, we could have members leaving the group several times. You just bring them back. There is nowhere you're going to. We have to finish this race together. Yes. So you have to be tolerant. when you are managing people, you have to be really, really tolerant. And you have to be emotionally strong. You have to be very accommodative. And then you have to listen more than you talk.
Listen to
Yes.
understand.
Listen to understand.
Very interesting. But I want to ask you, would you do it again? Was it worth it?
It was worth it. I feel like I grew as a leader. It gave me the opportunity to know how to manage different personalities. It also gave me the platform, of course, to network with very important personalities and leadership within the region and beyond. So, and again, also the government agency. So it makes you to feel challenged. You don't no longer see yourself. Most of the time, before I did anything, I know one of the members could remind me, you are no longer David Ongesa. Don't look at yourself as just David Ongesa. Now you are the president. I could start saying something, then they would, yes. Okay, so that is what it does to you. And your people to check on you. If you are going to go on excess, then you are tamed. You find yourself within the 2 years, it shall have transformed yourself. The way you conduct yourself, the way you relate to people, even the way you talk. There are some things that you could say freely there before, but now you limit. What would the people say if they read this and they know it is from? Okay, so you no longer see yourself as Vivian Boas. Any action, any indulgence you get yourself into, the other thought that comes across your mind is, what will people say? Okay, so I've grown as a leader. I think I feel more confident. I can fit into any platform. I can engage into any discourse. And I think even if I were to leave alone society leadership, even if I were to run for any political seat, I think I can do it. So, that confidence and that belief in oneself is instilled over time. So it's a very good platform. It's a voluntary role, but the intangible benefits in terms of leadership growth is enormous. Yeah.
So guys, if you want to buy, please go for it. What's the message Ongesa is sending out there?
Sure.
Okay. So Ongesa, let me take you back. The decision to become an OSH professional. Do you think it's paid off? Has it been worth it? That's another question.
It's really been worth it, I can tell you. Yeah, it's really been worth it. See, I told you before, when we grew up, where we schooled, most of the people we looked up to were the teachers. So even in high school, the people that were held in high esteem, that would say, I would want to be so and so, are the teachers. Okay. Most of my friends, of course, ended up being teachers. Most of my friends. I also wanted to be. I think opportunity denied me the chance to be a teacher. Okay. But looking at how I have, transformed from one aspect to the next up to where I am, I think being health and safety professional is highly rewarding, because you're not limited to just a single scope. Okay? can be working full-time as health and safety professional. At the same time, you can be doing consultancy. At the same time, you can be training people. At the same time, you can be involved in health and safety supplies. Okay? So if you're open-minded, it can really be rewarding, especially economic-wise. But above all, the satisfaction that all the people in the workforce are looking up to you and you're the reason they go back home safe is even more rewarding. Okay? Is comparable to the main health streams profession. Yeah, you see that satisfaction a doctor feels when a patient came to the hospital when they were ill and now they're going back home in full life. Yeah, and looking forward to tomorrow to continue contributing to the society and the economy. I think it's just a feel-good moment and something that you know is very noble. You can not be paid fully for it, but the satisfaction that you get, I think, is much fulfilling. If you now ask me to change my profession, I think I will not change. This is where I belong. Yeah, I'm home. I'm home. Yeah.
I don't know, because it's aside from it's very rewarding. Personally, I know that because I'm very passionate about health and safety, but it's also emotionally draining, and those are challenges that we encounter on a daily. So maybe it's just tips for you who's been there longer than us. How do you deal with those moments where it's just a low?
There are low moments all over. I worked in logistics sector. They will tell you it's really crazy sometimes. See, sometimes could maybe plan, meet together with friends on a Friday. Everybody is off work now. And then you receive communication. One of your trucks is involved in an incident. And see, being a safety professional, you are also kind of in an emergency response docket. So you attend to what is important first and other things later. So there are those low moments, but you have to be brave enough. Safety professionals have to be emotionally balanced, and you have to be prepared for such emergency situations. You must be available. You should be agile to the extent that you are ready anytime. The instances I woke up from my house at midnight to go to a workplace because there are issues there. So that is much you should be willing to sacrifice. Well, you know that you signed a contract that you work from 8 to 5. Sometimes you'll find yourself going to work at 10 p.m. and coming back later, maybe in the morning. The instances, I put on PPE, overall, safety shoes, helmet, dressed up like any other worker, just to go and see how they're behaving at night, so that I can get insights on how I can change their behavior. You behave like one of them, see what they do while nobody's there. If you work in a company that run a night shift, one day just dress up like them, go to a very busy department, hear what they say about the company, about how they are being managed, see what they are doing. You would be amazed. Some would even leave very high risk tasks and go and start sleeping. Yeah? So that is the safety never goes on holiday. And any safety professional, just know that you sign 8 to 5 work arrangement just for formality. Your work is full time. You're supposed to work 24 hours. Yeah, even when you are dreaming, you should reflect on how to change your workplace safety.
Oh, wow. Because for me, I have an emotional support system. I have friends in the profession. If anytime I'm overwhelmed, I reach out to them. I just call and say, "Man, this thing happened."
Sure.
We just talk about it, and that helps.
I remember you used to call me.
I know, because sometimes you cannot call family because they really don't understand.
Sure.
When you witness an accident happen in the workplace, they can never really understand what that entails and the emotional toll it takes on you.
Yeah, I remember, that's why it's important for those who are joining the safety profession, those who are new into the profession, please create contacts, create a good network. You will need, there are times that you need to call people. How is this done? Maybe I've never handled a fatality case in a workplace. You have to deal with it now. And you see what they usually do. That is when you find everybody. That's when now you should shine. Show why you are brought on board. People have taken steps back, looking at how you're going to manage the entire situation. Or you have a multiple incident, and you have to manage all this and ensure everything is handled professionally. So sometimes it takes effort to become, have useful contacts, network, and have people that you can, turn to when you need advice, when you need support, and when you need help. And sometimes you might even be traumatized, and you just need somebody to tell you, I've been through that and I overcame. You want just to hear that, okay, also people have also gone through this. I can manage it and things can stabilize and I can go back to my former self. It can still work. So there are those low moments, and they call for reaching out to your support system at that given time. So it's a profession that you find it very difficult if you are an introvert. Just there, you keep to yourself, you don't talk to people, you'll find it difficult. Yes.
Very useful tips, guys. I hope we are taking notes. But Ongesa, so what next? What is next for Ongesa out there?
I'm looking forward to bigger things. Yes, of course. Right now I'm doing high-level health and safety leadership trainings. And I chose this niche because I believe that for you to transform the safety of the workplace, you have to start from the board to the top management, okay, to the senior managers. You have to change their mindset first. People fail in health and safety because they have not opened the eyes of the leaders to realize how much they are losing by not investing in safety. Okay, so I got inspired to start doing health and safety leadership excellence for top level management and the members of the board, because that is where you should start from. And it has really worked. There are people who have called me to go talk to their top management because things are not just working. Then I take to them the medicine, prescription. And after that, most of the times, these people respect new faces if they talk to them than the people they see every day. So at least if you give them insights why safety is important, why they need to invest in safety, they will not even give the health and safety officers or managers difficult time, because they will get the clear message on why they need to invest in safety and what savings, how that will save their company in terms of the cost they'll come by not implementing health and safety. So I'm into that. And I also do trainings, health and safety trainings, and of course, consultancy, both national and international consultancy. And also, bigger things are coming up, which you will hear about soon. Yeah.
Soon.
Not
Announcement.
Not for not for this platform. It's a bit classified for now. Yeah. Sure.
So, what message do you have for all OSH professionals out there?
So, to all OSH professionals out there, safety is a very noble profession. It's a very interesting and exciting profession. You should know that lives of people are in your hands. You should never compromise the oath to your office. That is to ensure that the safety and welfare of the workers are taken care of. And you should also not fear doing the right thing because you feel that you will lose your job. Sometimes, if it is not working and you really tried, by all means, you'd rather go and try somewhere else than wait and see the people that you love so much and care about die while you're watching. So it's a profession that needs you to be brave. Sometimes you have to make some painful decisions. And sometimes you have to, you even have to tell the heads of the companies and organizations the right thing to do. Even if it is, difficult to say it, you have to bring it out. So doing the right thing, because here we are dealing with the people's welfare, the workers' lives. It's not just about working 8 to 5 and going home. So we have to be very vigilant in what we do. We have to be very decisive. We have to be very focused. We have to keep the morality aspect of safety at the forefront, and you have to do the right thing and ensure safer workplaces. Yeah.
So thank you very much. Thank you very much for agreeing to come on a very short notice, and thank you for we've had a very informative session. Personally, I've learned a lot about mentorship. I've learned a lot about networking, social capital, muhimu sana. So tunashukuru sana kwa kukubali kuja.
Thank you too, and you are doing a good job. I did tell you, you are doing a very good job. I like what EHS Unplugged podcast is doing. This voluntary civic role that you have taken is something that has been lacking for a very long time. And I will just request those who can work with you to support you on this course and to ensure that we really use this platform to transform our workplaces and to air out issues outside there which we do not have a voice for. People have podcasts for various aspects, but very few focus on EHS. So we should really use this platform to promote health and safety in our workplaces and to ensure that all the workers and the staff that we work with, the friends, they're all safe. At the end of it, it's about saving lives and ensuring that we're all safe. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hongera sana.
Continue inspiring. You're doing a very, very, very good job out there.
Asante.
And we see you
at the conference.
Bye guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.